to Jurassic Park. If we can't protect the Earth, damn sure we'll avenge it.
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
It will be their undoing.
Surviving together is all that matters.
I'm not going to stop the wheel. I'm going to break the wheel.
This is like next level crazy.
Hello everyone and welcome to Footage Fanatics. We binge watch what's on the big screen or the television screen at home and we talk about it. First up on the docket, we're going to look at the weekend that was with our box office breakdown. Brandon, how did last weekend look like?
A little bit of the same as last weekend, actually. Deadpool #1 at 56 million. This is all domestic, so not worldwide. Just US only, $56.47 million for Deadpool. At #2 was Kung Fu Panda 3 at 12.52 million. And #3 was Risen at 11.8 million. The Witch came in at 8.8 million, and How to Be Single was 5th at 8.2 million. Star Wars dropped down all the way to 8,
wow.
only 3.91 million.
I can't believe Kung Fu Panda is.
So Kung Fu Panda was 2? Is that what you said? 3?
No, Kung Fu Panda
2?
was 2
Okay.
at 12.52.
Oh, 2.
Yes.
Any big surprises there on that list for you guys, or any?
Yeah, the Kung Fu Panda thing. I didn't think that was going to be.
How many weeks? 3 weeks now for Kung Fu Panda's been out, or almost a month, I think.
I don't. Oh, it says right. Weeks release is 4.
4 weeks. Okay.
4 weeks.
And-
Still at #2.
And now, did you see the top? Where Star Wars? Star Wars. Where was that at?
Down at 8.
8.
Only 3.91 behind Zoolander 2 at 7. And then Race at 6 was at 7.35.
I gotta see Race. Race looks really good.
Yeah, and it kind of stinks that it's kind of so far down on the totem pole because it looks like a really great movie.
Yeah.
Zoolander 2 didn't last very long.
Of
No.
course, I kind of figured.
How many weeks has that been out now?
The second week.
Second week already.
I believe from 3 or 4.
It's already down to
7.
wow. So it's 3 or 4 for its first weekend.
Yeah, it was. I think it was maybe 4.
Wow.
Can't remember, but yeah.
Wow.
Not great for Zoolander 2.
So
Jeez.
some sequels should just not be made.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Well, up next on Footage Fanatics, it is the Footage 5. We take the top 5 headlines from the past week in the movie and television world, and we talk about them. Melanie, get us started with number 5.
Okay, number 5. The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt Season 2 trailer premiered, and actually the storyline is a little bit kind of more serious, but not really. The actress, the main character, Ellie Kemper, said that she's going to be grappling some pretty heavy stuff in this season. But the return of our favorites come back, Titus and the chick that she works for. Do you guys watch the show at all?
No.
Oh my God!
I gave it a couple tries on the first season, and it didn't catch me. It didn't catch me. I love her in The Office, the main character. But I couldn't. I tried. I tried it. Yeah, Ellie Kemper.
Ellie Kemper too is. I saw her way back when on YouTube videos when she was doing Derek Comedy with Donald Glover, the guy from Community. So
yeah.
I loved her from then, and I tried out Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, but much in the same way Anthony said. It was hard to wrap my interest around it.
I like the show because it's kind of, this sounds cheesy, but it's kind of like girl power. And it's written by Tina Fey, and it kind of puts this quirky but really funny female lead in her own TV show, and I think it's really cute. And I'm happy that she got a second season. And actually, they are in the works for a 3rd season already. So yeah, so congratulations.
So
to
worth
them.
checking out then.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, Brandon, what is number 4 on the Footage 5? That's why it's in the prompter for you, buddy.
Right. Jared Leto is really taking his Joker role to heart. Leto had someone deliver a dead pig and a black rat to his Suicide Squad castmates.
The guy's really taking his role. As I said there, the guy's taking the role to heart.
Yeah, strange. Why would he do this?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Jared Leto's just an interesting character, and I think that he's that's just who he is. I don't know if he did that because of the role or just because of who he is, but
maybe was it just a prank? Was it like
I
was
don't know.
he very serious about it?
the black rat, I believe, if I heard correctly, that he delivered that to Margot Robbie, and then the pig he kind of had someone bring in for the entire cast to see, just randomly, just because he's Jared Leto.
The thing is, with this role, it's so easy to get caught up in the craziness of this. I mean, unfortunately, look what happened to Heath Ledger. And even Jack Nicholson, sorry, kind of warned Heath Ledger before he took on this role. He was like, just be careful because this whole role can actually kind of consume you and make you lose your mind a little bit. So I appreciate maybe Jared Leto trying to get into his character, but it's all in, good fun. Don't take it so seriously to the point where you're losing touch with reality.
Yeah.
So,
Melanie, number 3 on the footage 5.
Okay, Deadpool and James Gordon team up for a little skit on the Late Late Show. This is hilarious. Check out this clip right here.
Sorry? Listen, I am psyched for you. Everything that's happening, Deadpool, I mean, it's just
Crazy.
huge, right? It's incredible. And I watched it, I loved it, I couldn't help but feel it's missing something. A sidekick.
X gon' give it to you. Wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door and spring. Deadpool. Stop my brother, stay still. Go hard, getting busy with it. And Deadpool. In Double Deadpool.
Let's go. What? Oh, it's not even worth it. Oh, good God, you're fast. This is blazing speed.
Feels good, huh?
Yeah. Deadpool.
Double Deadpool.
That was hilarious. I love James Gordon. I love when he does the lip sync thing, but this was actually really cute and clever that he did with Ryan Reynolds, and he is just eating this up. He loves.
Yeah, he's
this
just
role.
he's just sitting there like, nope, that's awful. That's not gonna do. That's an awful costume. Next, and he goes through like 5, and then finally, as you saw there, he just his sidekick Deadpool is Deadpool and Deadpool.
Deadpool, yeah.
Yeah, James Gordon's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't been on the scene for too long, and so in terms of how long I've seen him, I haven't seen him for a long time with the Late Late Show. But
I think he's relatively new.
He's
I'm not terribly sure, but yeah, I think
he's been featured in a couple of movies. Begin Again, that was with Mark Ruffalo and Keira Knightley. He played a supporting actor in that role.
Was he he wasn't in The Woods, was he?
Yeah, he was.
Yes,
he was in
that
the
was
Woods.
him. Okay, all right.
He was also in The Woods. He was the lead. He was the baker.
That's right. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was him.
Yeah, James Corden's a great talent. He can play musical instruments. Obviously, he can sing doing the carpool karaoke. I just think he's very talented and very deserving of that late night role.
Very funny too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was great.
It was pretty funny. All right, up next, number 2 on the footage 5. Pre-production has started on Transformers 5, and it will film in London and Detroit, and casting has begun. Michael Bay is going to direct once again. Mark Wahlberg is set to return to try to continue this franchise. Why?
I know.
Why?
Okay.
And they have a couple of them planned, don't they, too?
Yeah, through 8.
Oh, there's 8?
Or 7.
No.
I thought there's 3 more movies, so this one.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's just like,
Stop it.
It's going to be the same formula. You know what the plot's going to be?
What?
The Autobots are going to be like, no, we have to defend Earth, even though they hate us. And the Decepticons will be like, no.
Optimus Prime goes on some giant trip and something and discovers some knowledge of some sort.
And then they got to have a half-naked chick come on there with her boobs out, and she's like, hey, I got kidnapped by the robots.
What did you, now, for a second, let's look back at the most recent one, obviously the first one with Mark Wahlberg. What were your thoughts on in comparison to the previous
awful.
ones?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't see it?
I didn't bother watching
I did not see. There are only a couple movies I've seen that to. There's actually only one movie I said I will never see. It's the Avatar: The Last Airbender, because I don't want it to ruin the cartoon series. So that's that
by
for
M.
you.
Night Shyamalan.
By M. Night Shyamalan.
No, it's not going to ruin anything. It's just I figured.
You know that it was
terrible.
awful.
Yeah.
So will you see this one? We see 5?
No, I've watched the first 2 and that's it.
It's like
Yeah,
this
same.
last one, they tried to squeeze in so many plot lines into that movie. And you couldn't follow it because it just got jumbled up between the action and then you got these mini subplots. It's just, it didn't make any sense.
Try to.
Was it at least connected to the original one?
I don't even
Because
remember.
they got rid of Sam Witwicky, like that whole thing, they were like, oh, forget
So
that.
they just kind of ignored him.
So take everything aside for just a moment. Who would you rather have be that lead? Back to Shia LaBeouf or stick with this Mark
Shia
Wahlberg?
LaBeuf's not gonna go back.
No, I'm saying if you could decide
He was
what we
good in
saw
the
with
first
Shia.
movie.
The first one was a good
And It
start.
wasn't bad in the second movie. It's just.
But if you could have one of those two, and imagine you get one of them, who would you rather have, Shia LaBeouf or Mark Wahlberg?
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
I want Shia LaBeouf to play himself I wanted Shia LaBeouf to play Shia LaBeouf in a Transformer movie. Yeah. I think that'd be hilarious.
Could you imagine if like Optimus Prime is hesitant on doing something? Just do it! Just do it! Like just right in the middle of the movie, it's like, dang, Shia, Witwicky's got some fire. Right? All right. Finally, Erik, number 1 on the Footage 5.
Number 1 on the Footage 5 is Stephen King's It will get a film remake. Even though it was a miniseries back all the way into, what was it? It was with Tim Curry as playing Pennywise the Clown.
Or I remember because I watched it and it was like a 3-hour-long movie.
It is a 3-hour-long movie. What they initially did was that they split up the kids, the actors as kids,
right?
And then it moved into adulthood on the second part of the series. But yeah, it was later formed into a movie. So
it was weird. But it was still scary. I'm like deathly afraid of clowns, so this was pretty much it for me. But is Tim Curry going to come back in this?
No, Tim Curry will not be revived.
Well, that stinks because he was
Pennywise.
it for me.
Yeah.
He's a talented actor. I love Tim Curry.
I've only ever seen the images. I don't think I've ever seen any of the movies or television, anything. I've never seen.
It's creepy. So the remake should be
yeah, that clown is just. Now. In the movie, I'm trying to remember, there was the Zombie Land. That zombie at the end, the clown one, that kind of looked like it. You guys ever seen Zombie Land?
I love Zombie
Didn't it kind of look like it?
Probably like a rip.
That clown at the end, maybe? It had the same hair. Yeah,
it's probably an homage. I mean,
that's the only thing I think of.
Yeah, or the It mini-series. It was a 2-part series. So
quickly, have you guys ever seen the original The Thing?
Oh yeah. Well, wait, hold on. The one with Kurt Russell or the black and white one?
Kurt Russell. Yeah,
the black
not
and
the
white
second
one, I think, was the one for me.
Really?
That was like filmed way back when.
Oh yeah, I always forget there was an original. The Kurt Russell one is really good though.
Yeah, that one's
and the new one, the newest.
That was bad.
Yeah. If you're gonna go with newest, just go with Kurt Russell one. Yeah.
Well, bringing it back, I mean, Stephen King's It is just classic horror literature.
Yeah.
But so for them to kind of revive this and actually make it into a full feature-length film rather than kind of mini-series and then piecing it together, it should be interesting and it should excite a lot of horror fans.
All right.
They redid the classics. They did Poltergeist again.
Yeah.
I think that they did Amityville.
The Omen before that.
Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, we're up against a break here on Footage Fanatics. Coming up next segment, speaking of horror movies, it is our weekly movie review. This week we are reviewing the new horror movie, The Witch. We'll be right back.
Watch our Spanish newscast Noticiero TVMed every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Sports, entertainment, weather, events, all you need to know about our school, our region, and our world.
On Comcast Channel 54 in Denver and Channel 20 on campus. Noticiero TVMed, the student's voice of MSU Denver in Spanish.
Welcome back to Footage Fanatics. We are talking about The Witch, which we saw last night. Guys, this was a pretty creepy movie. You can agree with me.
And we're obviously going to go down the list.
It's a little kind of creeped out by it.
It was amazing.
But so we'll start out with the rating. So the rating is rated R. It has
Rightly so.
it has a couple of nude scenes in there. And just, I think maybe just the whole tone of the movie itself, it's definitely not for younger people.
No.
Really.
No.
So rated R for that reason. The storyline, so it actually takes back in 1630. I was actually wrong before because I thought it was 1800s, but it's 1630, so that's 10 years after the Pilgrims actually landed at Plymouth Rock in New England. Yeah, right around the time Pilgrims set foot on North American soil, panic and despair envelops a farmer and his wife and their 4 children when the youngest son, Samuel, suddenly vanishes. The family blames Thomason, that's actually a girl's name, the oldest daughter, who was watching the boy at the time of his disappearance. With suspicion and paranoia mounting, twin siblings Mercy and Jonas suspect Thomason of witchcraft, testing the clan's faith, loyalty, and love to one another. The cast actually was really, really good. I think the choices to make or to put actors that aren't really well known, they actually have been in a few popular movies, but again, you kind of have to do your research to find these people. Ralph Ineson, who played the father in The Witch, thought he did that role beautifully. He has this very deep, grumbly kind of voice, and it just
You can listen to that voice for a while.
It set the tone immediately
Yeah.
for the movie that it's going to be a creepy movie. He was actually in the original Office, the UK version, and he was also in Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know what role he played in that, but he was actually in. Maybe no, that was Vin Diesel. That's right. He was in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2, and he was actually in the Half-Blood Prince as well. And he was actually in the Game of Thrones. So you guys watched the show. I don't know if you guys have seen him before.
The only one in Game of Thrones is the mom. That's the only one I can remember from.
Yeah.
Just her. Yeah.
So, well, the mom is played by Kate Dickie. She's in the Game of Thrones. She was actually in Prometheus. That's the first time. That's where I recognized her from. Was she was in Prometheus. She was actually also in The Road. And lastly, Anya Taylor-Joy. She played Thomason, the eldest sister, and she was in Viking Quest. That was her first role that she got. She's actually a model, and she's Argentinian, actually, and Anglo-American. I wouldn't have guessed that because she had a very nice, thick, I think it was like a Scottish brogue a little bit in the movie. It was that old English.
It was old English, very antiquated language. But it was definitely old English. And I was actually kind of surprised, too, by the trailer that we all watched. We thought it was going to be Elle Fanning. And when she was doing the peekaboo. And spitting image of Elle Fanning, surprised not to see her actually in part of the credits. So, but The Witch, it was quite amazing.
Well, and before we get to the fun facts, let's just go person to person and just give our official reaction real quick. And this is for Brandon as well, because he did not get to go see it with us. So quickly, spoiler alert, Mr. Spoiler, if you would please.
Are you ready for some spoilers?
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Spoiler, for Brandon as well, because he didn't get to see it with us. But this movie was incredible.
So let's just start with the cast.
Sure.
The kids, I thought they did such a fantastic. So this dialogue is Old English, and it's very hard to understand. I think it's very hard to speak too.
Yeah.
These kids, who were pretty young in the movie, did a fantastic job of pronouncing it and just playing into that role beautifully. As far as like the cinematography goes and the shots and everything.
Gorgeous.
Very pretty. It definitely was. It made you feel isolated. Like the whole
Exactly.
time I felt like
Out in the woods.
uncomfortable and out in the woods, and that I was like, at risk. But that's, how these people lived back in the day.
Yeah.
And just right off the bat, things escalated. At first I was like, oh, well, that escalated quickly. It's
at first I didn't think we were going to see the witch for the longest time until the very end, in which we kind of do. But
hey, we spoiler alerted. We can say whatever we want now.
Sorry, Ren.
Sorry, Brandon.
Like I said,
we weren't going to see it anyway.
It doesn't matter.
To the movie's credit, it is worth watching.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big horror movie fan myself. So when I went and saw it, I bought into it right away. And the filters were amazing on it. And like you said, the shots that the director of photography, I got to look whoever that was up.
I'll bring that up.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway from this movie is that we always hear that phrase when people say something is kind of ahead of its time. This movie was something that you would see back of the good horror movies. I'm talking like Silence of the Lambs-esque, like things that you throw into the greats now. I mean, I think there weren't the jump scares that you would see in these movies. There weren't the cheap scares. You kind of felt the entire movie, as Mel talked about, that isolation, and you felt that buildup of the plot. You felt that buildup with the characters, and you'll see if you see the movie. Again, spoiler alert, but I don't want to give away too much. But you'll see with the movie, the buildup of the characters to their eventual demise. That you felt that with every single character. It went through every single character's progression in terms of their sins, which if you see, you'll kind of make sense of that. But this movie doesn't belong in this era because horror movies have been so bad for so long. I think you guys would kind of agree that this movie belongs in the discussion of those great movies because of what it did.
It's more sophisticated. It's a sophisticated form of horror, and I love horror movies. But this one, it's not your conventional type of horror movie. If you're looking to be jumped,
Paranormal Activity.
That's that kind of movie, or like Insidious or something like that.
Insidious was
if you go in with that expectation, you might be a little bit disappointed. But if you have an open mind and if you like that sort of suspenseful type of horror and things that are psychological, then this is perfect because you'll kind of be haunted.
Let's go ahead and get some fun facts on the movie.
Perfect. Yeah. So this first fact is a little bit creepy. So the actual Satanic Temple, this is a religious organization, took the unusual step of actually endorsing the picture. So The Witch actually was a big hit at the Sundance Film Festival last year. And they really didn't think it would gain that much popularity. It was kind of an independent film, didn't really have a big budget. So they kind of figured it would just go straight to like Netflix or, it wouldn't make the theater. Well, when it circulated around, the people of the Satanic Temple actually loved the film. And they felt like it actually did represent their culture and what they went through back in the day before the Salem witch trials happened. So they actually endorsed the film, and then that's when A24 jumped in, and they also endorsed the movie. It just kind of blew up from there. So, but it's interesting to know that an actual satanic cult or organization backed up the movie. When does that ever happen?
That's a legitimate scare there. That's legitimate terror. When you have I guess it's credible in that respect, when you have the Satanic Temple supporting the movie.
Support your movie. So this is actually a quote from one of the people that I think he's like one of the head people of the Satanic organization. But he said, the themes in this film mirrored the things we talk about in our work. Said his name is Jex Blackmore. That just sounds like a creepy name.
Jex Blackmore.
A spokesman for the Satanic Temple and the head of its Detroit chapter. It's a criticism of theocratic patriarchal society and a fair representation of the stresses that put on a community. So on their community. And actually a lot of the dialogue that was in this movie was from actual journal entries that they found in old New England folklore.
So creepy.
So it's taken from these journals and put into the dialogue.
You always wonder what's exexaggerated and what is like, okay,
a lot of the stuff
that comes from,
I mean, a lot of the stuff they thought
That's the creepy part.
actually happened.
Yeah.
Robert Eggers is the director of this movie, and this is actually his first real major film that he has worked on. He's very much into costume design and aesthetics, so that's why this whole film was very aesthetically pleasing. He took a lot of pride and a lot of time to set up his shots and stuff to make the audience feel isolated again, and like you're supposed to be watching something that you're not supposed to be watching. Yeah.
Quickly, we have to skip ahead. Let's go ahead and say why people should go ahead and see this movie.
Okay, I'll say why people should see this movie is if you love horror like myself and you don't want to, you want to get away from the whole basic kind of horror, definitely go see this. Don't watch it if you have a lot of religious sort of beliefs, I think, because I know a lot of religions don't believe in witchcraft or they don't want to play into that whole thing. But if that's something that interests you, then I would definitely go see it. Yeah.
I would see it for all the marvelous imagery. The symbolism is amazing. Like you said, though, there's the religious undertones, and it's not even an undertone. I mean, it's very blatant, very direct. So I would go see this movie with a particular lens of, you're not your typical horror movie. You're gonna love the kind of I guess the static settings and the shots that are taken part of it.
Even.
The music was
amazing.
Amazing. It set up everything. I wouldn't say it's a key part, but yeah, definitely a movie worth seeing.
Yeah. My reason why people should go and see it is if you miss, I already touched on it, but if you miss what horror movies have been in the past, the greatness, because this really is up there. I mean, I was really, really pleasantly surprised. If you miss the greatness of what horror movies have been in the past to the buildup of where they've kind of just not been very good as of late, go and see this movie. You will really enjoy just the creation that they kind of put together with the characters, with the plot, the director, everything put together. This was a phenomenal horror movie altogether. So it was really well done.
Yeah.
So ratings?
Ratings, I'm gonna give it, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. 8 Mr. Spoilers out of 10. What about you guys?
I'll do an 8.5.
8.5?
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant done, and I think it's one of my favorite horror movies actually to this date. So
it's pretty good.
Right after seeing it, of course, but I'd probably actually give it a 9. It was,
Wow.
It was
Okay.
darn near perfect.
Okay.
It's yeah. 8.
I'll give it a 3.
Get out of here.
Brandon, just humor us and go see it.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we are just 5 days away from the Oscars. Here on Footage Fanatics, we are going to go ahead and go category through category and make our picks. So we will be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
MyMetMedia.com is a new interactive website. Watch full newscasts from the Met Report. The Metropolitan have you covered. K-Met Radio have everything you need 24 hours a day. El Noticiero TV Met give you news in Spanish. How to advertise with us? Email sales@metmedia.com.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Welcome back to Footage Fanatics. We did the BAFTA Awards recap last week, and now we're just, as I said, 5 days away from the Oscars. Let's go ahead and start breaking it down category by category. Erik, which category should we start with first?
Well, we're going to have a little bit of a build-up, so we're going to start with the visual effects.
Visual effects.
Visual effects under this category, Ex Machina was nominated. Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, and also Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Okay,
so let's go through it. Brandon, kick it off.
Well, this one's tough. There's some bias in this,
course.
but I think there's two that, I mean, The Martian was pretty good. Ex Machina I haven't seen, but I heard it was amazing. It was amazing. So I would say it's between Mad Max and Star Wars. Obviously, Star Wars is going to be up there just because it's Star Wars and it has so much CGI in it, and to where you can make it so good with all that CGI. I mean, it's always going to be
Has
up
any
there.
of the Star Wars movies been nominated for
I think they've
an
always
Oscar?
been nominated.
They
For visual
always have?
effects?
For visual effects, sound editing, all those type of things.
Okay.
It's always been nominated, and it usually wins.
But never for like story or anything like that, really.
Screenplay.
No, I don't think so.
I think the original A New Hope won for
Yeah,
best original screenplay.
maybe A New Hope, but
Interesting. All right.
I'm going to go with Mad Max. As great as I think the CGI was with Star Wars, and again, phenomenal, the lack of CGI, or not lack of, because obviously they didn't need it clearly in Mad Max, but just all the original effects, everything they did live, it was incredible. I mean, we're talking about all the cars they built and made for this movie, and those scenes where you had up to 30, 40 cars at one time, all driving together, all made, nothing CGI. That is, those scenes in itself, even though the plot itself, the second time I did watch the movie, again, we're talking about visual effects right now, so this doesn't apply, but the second time I watched, I didn't like it as much the first time, but in terms of the visual effects overall, as great as Star Wars was, even you see the Star Wars tie and the Star Wars pin, I can't even put my Star Wars bias on this because of all that visual effects that Mad Max did.
Though.
They are
So
complete opposites.
It depends on what they're looking at. Are they looking at the CGI and all of that, or are they looking at the real effects?
Original content.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's between Ex Machina and Mad Max. I agree with you. The originality with the set and the stunts and everything like that.
Side note, the dude with the guitar in Mad Max
I
was
don't know
so
what the point-
incredible.
I don't know what the point of
There
it
is
was,
no point, but it was amazing.
awesome.
It was so incredible.
I loved it.
It's like, sure, why not?
Sure, why
Just some
not?
dude rocking out, giving you guys a theme song as you're going on this trek
Wouldn't
to
you love
find,
that
you know.
though?
Yeah,
For a
It was
bad guy?
tribal.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That was my favorite.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Let's move on to original screenplay. Let's do that.
What did Eric? Did you get your pick
Oh,
in for
yeah,
visual
did you
effects?
do that?
I'm with you guys. It's between Mad Max and Star Wars, and I think it's quite amazing. So I would go with Star Wars.
Okay,
Force
all right.
Awakens. I
What's
think
next?
if it doesn't win sound editing or sound mixing, I think it's got to win something. It's a Star Wars movie, and it will win something. But if it's not sound editing or mixing, which they are both nominated for, definitely
What's
visual
next?
effects.
Original screenplay. So Bridge of Spies. Is it
Machina?
Machina. Ex Machina. Inside Out, that new Disney movie that came out. Spotlight and Straight Outta Compton. I love Straight Outta Compton. That movie
your pick?
was amazing. I'm gonna say Straight Outta Compton. I think it was a phenomenal story. Yes. Yeah. That's my pick.
This is a tough one. I think, and again, I actually missed the second half of the movie. I got to go back and finish it. But from what I saw, and again, so that isn't a complete judgment, but from what I saw, Bridge of Spies, it's pretty phenomenal.
That's with Tom Hanks.
And
correct?
Spielberg directing.
Steven-
Yeah.
Steven
It's. So
Spielberg.
I think I'm gonna go with Bridge of Spies on this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Brandon?
I haven't seen. Actually, I don't think I've seen any of these movies.
Jeez.
But
Brandon.
from what I've heard, I mean, Straight Outta Compton is something I've been wanting to see for ever since it came out. Just haven't got a chance.
Yeah.
So, I mean that the way that the reviews have been, I would say that's probably in the lead. But I wouldn't be surprised if Inside Out won. I wouldn't be surprised if Bridge of Spies won. I mean, I think all of these, except for maybe Spotlight, I think it's between those
Remember
four.
which one was Spotlight?
I'm trying to remember.
Spotlight was about the Boston newspaper or the
Yes,
Boston news
that's
outlet
right,
that
the
uncovered
journalists.
the Catholic
Yeah.
Church scandals.
Okay.
So,
That might win. I don't
for
know.
me, original screenplay is definitely got to be Straight Outta Compton, and also still with the Oscar So White kind of debacle, I can
yeah.
definitely see Straight Outta Compton
Yeah.
becoming kind of almost like just an award that
Peace
they give.
kinda
Yeah, like
peacekeeping thing.
almost like a consolation prize for people of color, which is unfortunate. But I do see it playing out that way with Straight Outta Compton being best original screenplay. So we'll see.
Well, you said yours, yeah. And you said we went Straight Outta Compton. Let's get quickly through the sound mixing and sound editing. I mean, I mean, Star
We did
Wars
mention it.
for.
Star Wars or Mad Max? I think Mad Max had terrific sound throughout the whole movie between the guitar and the just the sound of the cars and stuff like that. I think that
I mean,
might win.
if history repeats itself, it's going to be Star Wars.
Okay.
With how much sound goes into it, the music, how each individual character has their own theme song, those type of things, that's what gets them to win these type of awards.
That's why I think it gets original score too.
Yeah, probably.
Because so. I mean, as you said, the character for every single one, every single scene.
The music is Star Wars.
Not to mention,
that's
I'm
the
curious
biggest part
as
of
to
it.
Mad Max's non-original score, which is interesting.
I wouldn't say original score. I don't think Star Wars is going to win the original score.
No?
I don't think so either. I think maybe
Absolutely not.
the Hateful Eight. If you
Yeah,
guys
I
have
can
seen
see
that,
Hateful
I
Eight
think
winning.
Hateful Eight might win.
Ennio Morricone is
Or
amazing.
Carol might win for original score. But
Let's go to makeup and hairstyling, and I'll read the three, but this is easy for me. Mad Max, 100-year-old man who climbed out the window and disappeared, or The Revenant. It's Mad Max to me by a landslide.
Yeah.
Landslide to me. What they did with what were they called? The white figures. I forget the name of them.
Even The Revenant though had terrific.
But it was terrific. But in comparison to what they did with the practical effects with those guys, it's unmatched. That was incredible. What they did with and I don't know what they were, but like the little things they had all over their bodies, like they were built into their skin. Yeah, like that was insane.
Yeah,
It was
that
incredible.
might very well win. Let's go to the next one, costume design.
Costume design.
So the contenders for this one is Carol, Cinderella, The Danish Girl, Mad Max Fury Road, and The Revenant. I think, again, Mad Max Fury Road might win, or The Danish Girl, just because of that era and the significance of that movie about being transgendered in that time.
I think you could throw the Revenant in here too, with possibility with costume design, because all the build.
It did keep true to the period.
Yeah, so and it looks really good. I think it's competition, but I think again it could be a sweep in terms of the looks with the makeup and hairstyling and costume design could both go to Mad Max.
Unfortunately, go ahead.
Mad Max can easily
sweep those two.
I mean, and not just with those. I mean, with a lot of these.
I think it's safe to say Mad Max will clean up the art and visual department because that was.
Well, it's between them and Star Wars for certain ones.
Yeah, I think those are the main competitors.
Star Wars not on costume design.
I'm not surprised.
No?
No, because
it's not really original. They use costumes that they use in all their movies.
Yeah,
you know?
and the costumes aren't, I think, as big in Star Wars as these other movies.
Yeah.
It's more about the visual effects and all
For
that.
sure.
So.
Yeah.
For sure. Next up is directing, which is a big one.
Again, Mad Max.
Mad Max is like in pretty much everything.
Yeah, George Miller is amazing.
Well, you know what? I was thinking for a moment, but just overall, I was thinking Big Short for a moment. It's great, but it's in a different stratosphere, I think, than all these. The Revenant too. I always forget the Revenant's in there as well.
Both Inarritu, but George Miller coming back on the scene with a new Mad Max Fury Road might take it. Inarritu, though, to go 2 years in a row, I think that's very bold.
Did it win Best Directing and Best Picture, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for Birdman.
Birdman was great.
Birdman and Inarritu won for that one.
Think,
but also
he
at the
might
Golden
win.
Globes, he repeated. So
I think he might win the Revenant.
I think this is one of the only categories that Big Short is in, which is unfortunate because in directing it's going to be tough to beat out one of those two.
No, a lot of the actors from Big Short got nominated. We can get into that a little bit
cool.
later,
Get into
but
those.
yeah.
Okay.
I think Mad Max.
So Mad Max.
I'm gonna go with directing. It's
I'm
close.
gonna say Inarritu does it again. Revenant.
That's not that big.
Revenant.
I'm gonna say Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Yeah.
I say Revenant.
All right. What's up next?
Actress in a supporting role. So up is Jennifer Jason Leigh in The Hateful Eight, Rooney Mara in Carol, Rachel McAdams in Spotlight, Alicia Vikander in The Danish Girl, and Kate Winslet in Steve Jobs. Kate Winslet has been actually has had a lot of buzz about this movie, so I think she might win the supporting actress role.
Rare for me to say, but this is a category I actually have not seen any of those five.
Really?
Steve Jobs, I need to see.
I was gonna watch Steve Jobs 2 nights ago, and I fell asleep. But that's the movie that, same with Best Actor, same with just this movie was that good that it's something that I think everyone
I think I'm
needs
so
to
jaded
see.
from the Ashton Kutcher version that I just haven't seen.
Yeah,
fair
but I
enough.
think this one's a little bit different. I think this is more.
I think it's more in depth, right?
Yeah, it's more.
It's more real.
And it's not showing the beginning, all that crap that we've seen over and over again. It's
more about
like,
his family and stuff like that.
What do you guys' picks
Okay.
on this one?
I say Kate Winslet.
Okay. By you two?
I'm going with Kate Winslet and Steve Jobs, but Alicia Vikander and The Danish Girl, she's a star on the rise, and she also played the lead in Ex Machina as well, so she shows some range, yeah. All
right, what's up next?
Actor in a supporting role. So in this one, it is Christian Bale in The Big Short, Tom Hardy in The Revenant, Mark Ruffalo in Spotlight, Mark Rylance in Bridge of Spies, and Sylvester Stallone in Creed, which I'm surprised Sylvester Stallone got picked for that.
You shouldn't be. Sylvester Stallone did put in an amazing performance, and I don't want to say he overshadowed Michael B. Jordan at all, because Michael B. Jordan actually, I think, in my mind, should have been nominated for a leading role, but that's
one of the controversies.
That's one of the controversies.
Yeah.
And also, he is young. He's got plenty of his career left, so don't worry about that. For all you Michael B. Jordan fans, I remember him from Friday Night Lights. I thought he was amazing. Yeah. But for me, I think actor in a supporting role, it does go to Sylvester Stallone.
Okay.
The Academy loves him. The Academy loves Sylvester Stallone, and Stallone loves the Academy.
Yeah. And I haven't seen Creed. Have any of you three seen The Big Short?
Yes.
No, not yet. I want to see it though.
For me, it was close if we saw more of Christian Bale.
Okay.
If we saw more of what we saw, I think it was a great sample size of what we saw, but it wasn't enough for me to put him over the top of Tom Hardy. I think, again, Tom Hardy in The Revenant was absolutely phenomenal. We got Tom Hardy is so good at just adapting to the actor. I know that kind of sounds obvious to the character, excuse me. And again, that sounds obvious, but the way that you would define what he does, he just does it so well. And again, it would have been really close for me if Christian Bale, we saw more of him in Big Short. You probably attest to that too. It just wasn't enough for me to consider that. If it would have been more of a contest to me, but I think Tom Hardy's going to take it. Right. And again, we continue this sweeping of Mad Max here, for me at least. What do you guys think? What about you?
For actor?
Yeah,
Best supporting role.
I'm gonna say Sylvester Stallone.
Okay.
Same what you said. Yeah. They love him. He loves them. I mean these other ones, I could see maybe Mark Rylance, Bridge of Spies. I heard his name. He was kind of getting some looks, but it's probably going to be Sylvester Stallone.
I think it's going to be a toss-up between Mark Ruffalo, actually, in Spotlight, and Tom Hardy. I think it's going to be really close between those two. So I'm going to say either one of those guys, I think, might take the Oscar home.
Okay. What's up next?
Actress in a leading role.
Do you want to cinematography first?
Oh, wait, where's
Did we do cinematography yet?
No, we didn't. We actually skipped that. Okay, cinematography. Carol, The Hateful Eight, Mad Max Fury Road, The Revenant, and
Sicario.
Sicario.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's easy again.
Mad Max?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna.
I think it might be The Revenant.
No, I'm going Revenant.
I'm going to go to Revenant for
Really?
this one.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of these are between
The Revenant and Mad Max.
As far as visual and or anything like that, it's Mad Max, The Revenant, and Star Wars.
Well, for me, I want to tease to what my pick will be, but everything other than the plot itself, we'll put Mad Max in the conversation because how marvelous everything was, aside from the story, which we'll touch on in a little moment. But, but yeah, it's up to those two. All right, what's up next?
So yeah, back to actress in a leading role. So it's up to Cate Blanchett in Carol, Brie Larson in Room. She actually she won a Golden Globe. Yeah. Jennifer Lawrence in Joy, Charlotte Rampling, 45 Years, and I'm gonna butcher her name, but it's
Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse Ronan in Brooklyn.
I need to see some of these. I haven't seen those.
It's going to be between Brie Larson, who took home the Golden Globe for her outstanding performance in Room, and Jennifer Lawrence in Joy. Both very talented young actors that are starting to get so much attention. So I think they're going to win.
I think Brie Larson is, once again with Alicia Vikander, is going to be amazing. She's an amazing actress. I remember seeing her, I believe it was in Safe House, but she played, she was playing a counselor, a psychological counselor, who previously was at that Safe House as a teenager, and kind of the emotional kind of turmoil was there, and she definitely is deserving of any kind of award that she gets, and I think it's Brie Larson.
She's really grown.
How about you?
Yeah.
Same with me. I haven't seen this.
I'm going to say Jennifer Lawrence,
okay.
Just because of her name. I think that's I think that's just going to be something that's going to be a theme here at the Oscars. It usually is. So same with like Mad Max, Revenant, just big names.
And she also took home the Golden Globe too.
So. Yeah. I mean, just to me, this one's easy, and I think it's Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay. Should we, and because of what is going to be an actor in a leading role, want to do Best Picture first, just because of how big the actor in a leading role one is this year? Want to do Best Picture first?
Let's do Best Picture
Let's
first.
do Best
Yeah,
Picture.
okay.
Okay. So it is The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max, Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, Room, and Spotlight.
I want The Martian.
Really?
I think that actually might win.
Haven't seen The Martian.
I think
I
it
need
might
to.
win.
I know.
Best Picture.
The Martian, to me, was the best movie I've seen.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what
More
my
than Star
folks
Wars.
even said.
Yeah, The Martian was funny. I mean, it was intense. It was just, to me, it was by far my favorite movie.
I mean, to your credit, I'm a little surprised by your answer, but to your credit, The Martian has wide appeal, extremely wide appeal. So I'm surprised, but you bring up some good points. For me, it's The Revenant.
Okay.
It was hands down for me the best movie I've seen. I think Ian Iñárritu does it again, and he's actually becoming one of those directors where he's a must-see. He's just a must-see. You have to see the newest Iñárritu movie. What about you, Mel?
If we want to be surprised at the Oscars, I think The Martian will win. But if we want to go for, of course it won, The Revenant.
Right.
So, yeah.
Let me preface this by saying, and this was the same thing I was talking about with actor in the supporting role. I felt like The Big Short was like a snippet. It wasn't a full. It didn't feel like the entirety of a full movie. It felt like it was a. It's hard to explain, and you've seen it, so you maybe kind of get what I'm at. But it just didn't. It didn't feel like we saw everything that the movie could have been. So that's why I consider it for a little bit, but then I tossed it to the side. Mad Max cleans it up almost for every category for me, except for this one. The second time I saw it, the plot just got lost a little bit. It didn't get me as much the second time. This is where the Mad Max comes to an end. And with you guys, The Revenant was just. And again, I haven't seen The Martian, but The Revenant is. I think it's going to take this one.
Watch The Martian tonight.
Okay.
Martian's
all right.
Martian's fun.
All right.
All
right. And
it won as a comedy for Golden Globes, which was weird.
But
it was funny.
I was wondering. I'll have to see that to wonder.
And
That was
Matt
wondering.
Damon
true comedy.
was
Okay.
incredible.
And finally, what's the last category, Melanie?
Actor in a leading role. Okay, so Bryan Cranston, who I love. I loved him in Breaking Bad. I think he's a phenomenal actor, but he is getting nominated for his work in Trumbo. Matt Damon in The Martian. Leonardo DiCaprio, my husband, in The Revenant.
I thought he was future husband. He's already your husband? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No.
I have to explain. Michael Fassbender and Steve Jobs and Eddie Redmayne for The Danish Girl. Now, I heard Eddie Redmayne did The Danish Girl beautifully. So
he did.
If you did anything like Theory of Everything, then somebody's in trouble.
I know.
That was killer.
I'm praying that Leo takes home
Let
Oscar.
me-
I don't know if he is.
Can I say something that's going to make you a little angry, and it makes me angry having to say this. First of all, I haven't seen Steve Jobs, and by what I've heard, the competition is between Leo and Michael Fassbender. I haven't seen that. That's what it sounds like it is.
Yeah.
Here's the thing for me. I love Leonardo DiCaprio. Really, I think he's a phenomenal actor. I'm not saying that they did do this. This is what I initially thought, and I'm backtracking a little bit. I initially thought that they really tried to get him to try hard. And I know that sounds bad. So I preface this by saying I'm taking that comment back. But I think not even on accident, but just unintentionally, it felt like it was too much for me in The
Like he was
Revenant.
trying too hard?
And this guy wants an Oscar. We know this. I don't think he went in the movie thinking like that. I just think that's the result we ended up with. No. It was still a phenomenal movie. As we heard, I picked it for Best Picture along you guys, but I think and what was it? The guy who came out and talked about how it kind of said those kind of comments. What was his name from the movie we just saw, Hail Caesar? The main character. What's the main actor's name? No. The other main character.
Josh Brolin.
Yes, Josh Brolin came out with comments talking about his role in Revenant and how he didn't like it. And his comments were kind of like, I get where he's kind of coming from because a lot of groaning, a lot of not dialogue. While it was phenomenal acting does not say that you have to have extensive dialogue.
Exactly.
But I think at this point it didn't feel like it was the full circle acting job we've seen from Leonardo DiCaprio in the past. Mm-hmm. In the past, we've seen roles that could have won. This has not been his. Would you say this has been his best role? I don't know.
No, I don't think it's been his best role, but it was such a high intensity role.
It was.
I would love to see him just get
but we can't just give it to him.
I know. Just credit for what he's done.
Here's my thing. It's like he got mauled by a bear. So it's like
CGI bear.
Okay, a CGI bear.
That is true. Well, I think the CGI part's a huge part of it because that means he acted all of that out. Now, granted, he did that first, and then they made the bear around him.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little easier. It's not like you had to act with the bear like live, like it's actually.
No, I was just trying to make a joke there, but
No,
I think Leonardo DiCaprio, they actually kind of will give him the award. It'll just spike the ratings. Everybody will go nuts. I think it will happen.
I think they'll just give it to him.
And then
I think they're going to give it to him.
And I think it's more just the culmination of his, of the entire body of his
It's like
work.
they're going to give him a lifetime award.
Almost,
essentially.
pretty much.
Essentially, if they do it, they could be the effect of giving him.
Or it could be a running inside joke.
Yeah.
Hey, we're never going to give Leo anything. The man doesn't need anything. He's rich.
Have you seen that?
He's
Okay, I'm gonna say this one last
Scorsese
time.
all the time.
They're gonna make they're gonna make a movie in 20 years of a guy playing Leonardo DiCaprio, and that guy's gonna win an Oscar. I have seen that meme before, and it's atrocious, but it's kind of.
Brandon, what about you?
I think Michael Fassbender, right?
Fassbender?
Is that what we're all saying?
It's Fassbender.
Fassbender.
Probably.
It's easy.
I gotta see it.
I'm going DiCaprio.
I
All right, he's going Leo.
I hope Leo wins.
It's
but
not,
I think Fassbender might.
I guarantee you it's going to be Fassbender.
All right.
I'm 100% sure it will be him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
All right.
with the Apple scandal too in the afternoon.
With that confidence on.
Yeah.
On that note.
Sorry, but it's just he's never going to get
Sounds
one.
good.
And to me it's funny. I think it's great that he hasn't got one.
Okay. Well, that does it for the Oscars predictions. Coming up next, Imitation Game. Stay with us.
Watch our Spanish newscast Noticiero TV Med every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Sports, entertainment, weather, events, all you need to know about our school, our region, and our world.
On Comcast Channel 54 in Denver and Channel 20 on campus. Noticiero TV Med, the student's voice of MSU Denver in Spanish.